Hey everybody, welcome to the last day of our Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I'm Kathleen Martin. I've been your host for the last week, and this is the very last day. So we're going to be doing something really exciting, something that I love to do in Photoshop. We're going to be making seamless patterns, something that was nigh impossible previously, but we have this really cool, awesome pattern preview tool in Photoshop that makes it almost unrealistically easy. So we'll chat about that in a moment. Good, I'm glad you see me, Anki. Good to see y'all. If you're joining in the chat, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to say hello to you. And let me know what the coolest thing you learned this week was. Maybe you didn't learn anything. Maybe you just practiced your Photoshop skills. That's awesome. Maybe you learned something about yourself. Share that as well. All right, let's jump over to my screen super duper quickly so we can chat about what the challenge has been so far. Get rid of that. Here we go. Cool. So the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge is an awesome way to build up your Photoshop skills. It's good for beginners, it's good for pros, because everyone can brush up on the basics and learn something. So we have been working on this holiday card challenge. This is my Behance project that I've been uploading and updating. So this is just a smattering of some of my favorite designs. We've got some in a photo grid, we've got some in a mock-up, and we've got one that is a full layout. This is the one that we did yesterday with the mixer brushes. So cool. Yes, Christelle, you learned about the mixer brushes yesterday. That's amazing. Anki, I didn't know you're in Sweden. That is so cool. Rajat, good to see you too. Very cool. General Kenobi learned the terrible truth, but we won't talk about that. All right, so the challenge that we work on today, I will update my Behance project with, and we will have a complete portfolio piece. Amazing. Don't forget that we're also going to be posting our work on Discord to get feedback. There's been such amazing posting going on in Discord this last week. Lots of amazing mixer brushes, some science behind the Aurora Borealis that we were learning about yesterday. Wow, so cool. Tatiana, this is sweet. You did so many different versions. And if you want to join us on Discord to get feedback, go ahead and click or go to this link, bit.ly/psdiscord, capital P, capital S. You can do it on your phone, on your browser. You can download the app. It is super duper easy. And we'll talk about that more at the end. What's up, Kyle from Compton? Good to see ya. Okay, so this is the starter file for today's challenge. It is just a blank card template, so you'll probably have one of these already downloaded from previous days, but you can get my challenge files as well if you go to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop and click the Get Started button under today's challenge. But all it is a flat holiday card, and we are gonna fill it with an awesome repeating pattern. I didn't draw all of these dots and stars by hand. I just drew like one of each, and then I let Photoshop do its own magic. So let's talk about how to do that. Well, thanks Sam for posting the link, appreciate it. So let's go ahead and make my layers panel just a little bit bigger. Perhaps. Maybe we will close these. Cool, so that's a little bit bigger so that you can see it better. So let's turn off my pattern. And let's just start from scratch. I'm gonna go ahead and group some of this stuff so it's not distracting to us. So let's start by making a brand new layer. Clicking the new layer icon, very simple. We could name it if we'd like to, pattern. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna draw a couple dots or stars. Now, we talked about brushes a little bit yesterday. Well, actually we talked about brushes a lot of it yesterday. That was kind of it was all about brushes yesterday, so you should be pretty familiar, but if not, if you tap the B button, you'll activate your brush tool. You can come up here to the control panel and you will have access to a bunch of different brushes. So let's choose something from this dry media brush set. And I'm thinking the charcoal pencil, so we'll get some nice texture, but chat, let me know if you have a preference. I'll get my big head out of the way so you can see. Whoa. All we need to do is make some dots. So I like to have a little texture around that if it's like a super simple shape. I'm thinking charcoal pencil, maybe pastel palooza. Let me know your thinks. Let me know your thoughts. Okay. Okay. I think we're gonna go for charcoal pencil, the original choice. Jenny's asking, what kind of headphones am I wearing? I'm wearing Audio Technicas. I'm not sure what the number is or anything like that. Okay, so on our new layer, let's go ahead and start drawing some dots. I'm gonna choose like a very, very light pink color for some of them. Since we have a dark background, I'm gonna go with lighter colors for my assets and my graphics. Maybe zoom in a little bit, and maybe we'll put me back in the corner where I belong. There we go. Alrighty, so just gonna go boop, maybe another boop, maybe a third boop. All right, now let's draw a snowflake. We talked about how to draw straight lines in Photoshop, I think on the very first day. So let's choose a very light blue, make my brush a little bit smaller. I'm gonna click, hold shift, draw, and it'll make a straight line. Click, hold shift, draw, it'll make a straight line. I can click between 2 points to make a straight line. And there we go. So this is the start of our pattern. This is pretty much all we need. So let's go ahead and go to our pattern preview and see how we can fill this out a little bit better. You're gonna go up to, I think it's edit? Yes. Sometimes I lose it a little bit. You can also find it just by going pattern preview. There we go. Oh, it was under view. Perfect. Say okay. And you'll notice that it made a pattern out of everything. So if you run into this problem, I have a solve for you. All you're going to want to do is make a new file. It doesn't have to be big. It could just be like 300 by 300. New layer. And we're going to do the same thing. So we will add our snowflakes. Maybe that's a little bit difficult to see, huh? Click, click, redraw. Maybe we will drop in our pink dots. And now let's go to our pattern preview. Before I do that, let's fill in the background really quick. We will end up erasing this, but just so we can see a little bit better. View, pattern preview, that's fine. And there we go. So now we have a whole galaxy of stars and snowflakes. Now we want to make sure that we fill this in a little bit more, because right now it feels like I just took a stamp and stamped everything. So we can go ahead and draw in some more shapes. Let's choose like maybe a light yellow for our third type of shape. Maybe we want to do another type of snowflake. And you'll see when I draw that in, it fills in the rest of the tiles. Very cool. All right, maybe we'll draw another blue guy. Maybe just some spots. You can also draw outside of the square, overlapping the edge. Very cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and define this as a pattern so that we can use it in our greeting card. All you have to do is make sure that your patterns panel is open. If it's not, super easy to do so. Go up to Window, choose Patterns. I just closed it, so I'll open it again. And come over here to the new pattern. Click it. Now you'll notice when I make a new pattern, let me zoom in here, it includes the black background. So this is going to make it so that whenever you apply this pattern, it's going to have a black background. But I like to have a little bit more flexibility here. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this, delete my black background. You'll see that we now have a transparent background. That's what this checkerboard pattern is. I know it's not easy on the eyes. We'll get off of this as soon as possible. We will go to New. Let's name this Starry Night. And okay, we have our new pattern in our patterns panel. So let's apply this to our greeting card. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my pattern preview. The best way to apply your pattern over your entire design is to go down here to our Smart Shapes. It's a tongue twister. I'm going to make sure I choose the rectangle tool. We're just going to draw a rectangle across our entire design. And the great thing about Smart Shapes is that you can really easily change the fill and the stroke. So we can do a solid color fill. I think we talked about this the first day perhaps. You can choose a gradient fill, or you can choose a pattern fill, and check it out. Our Starry Night pattern is right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We can even scale it down if we need a more ditzy pattern. Scale it up if we want it to look a little bit more organic. We can angle it a bit if we'd like to. I'm gonna scale it down a little bit. It's so big that it's taking a little bit of a second. Smart Shapes. Yes. Y'all talking about hockey in the chat? Okay, I'll allow it. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, that looks good. I dig that. So we now have our pattern. Now if I wanted to edit the pattern in here, super duper easy to do. You can right click, you can delete it, you can rename it, all the good stuff. You can also change what pattern is filling just with a single click. These are some awesome illustrated patterns from an amazing illustrator named Annika. This one's pretty cool. That's actually a great fit for our Starry Night theme, but let's go back to our original pattern. Okay, now let's tweak one little thing here. You'll notice that the pattern is going over our text, which we don't really want, right? We want to be able to read our text. So I'm gonna do just a quick little cheat here. It's not really a cheat, it's just a workflow. I'm gonna make a new layer on top of my pattern. I'm gonna rename this pattern so that we know what we're working with. All right, we have our new layer, and I'm just gonna go ahead and eyedropper the background color. So I tapped I to open my eyedropper tool. I know, aren't they wild? And then I'm going to use my brush tool, tapped B to activate my brush tool, increasing the size of my brush with my right bracket key. And I'm just going to draw where my words are. And that's going to allow this little area to become a little bit more legible. Now you want to be careful to make sure that you're not cutting any of your pattern pieces in half. Like right here, I painted over one a little bit. Whoops, painted over this one a little bit. I'm just going to use my eraser tool by tapping E to reveal that again. We'll reveal that, just cleaning up the edges a tiny bit. Okay, so now our season's greeting is way more legible. That's awesome. And we can go ahead and add our name back in and make sure that that is legible too. Get rid of this guy. I'm just using my brush tool to erase little pieces. Yes, Gus, thank you so much. This is the last challenge of the week, and then we're going to be offline for the next 2 weeks so everyone can recharge for the next year. Steve, yes, I'm in the Midwest. I would not say I got a hankering for the wheat or the snow, but here we are. Oh, thanks, Gus. Yes, you're giving me a little bit of a social shout out. I'll shout out my where you can find me on the internet when I'm not doing DCCs at the end of the stream. Okay, looks pretty good. I'm excited to see what y'all do with these challenges, and specifically with this one, making patterns, because you can make a pattern out of anything. I give the example of like a starry sky, but I also provided a couple stock images with this starter file. For example, like these snowflakes. So maybe you want to make a pattern out of snowflakes. You would just put these snowflakes on individual layers and then place them in your new document before you define your pattern. Could be anything. Susan, I moved like 1.5 years ago. So it's not new, it's not news. You didn't miss anything. But let's go ahead and turn that back off so that we can get this exported and uploaded onto Behance so that we can finish our project. I'm going to go ahead and crop this in because we don't need to see the back of it since it is just repeated from the front. Hitting enter to commit my crop. Then let's go ahead and export this, and we will upload it onto Discord for feedback, and then I will show you how to upload it onto Behance once you get your feedback. Export, export as. What's up, D? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. That's a good size. Give it an export, put it on the desktop. All good. Oh man, D, happy Friday to you and everyone else. All right, we are opening up Discord so that we can post our work here to get feedback. If you want to join us on Discord, just go to bit.ly/psdiscord, capital P, capital S. I think the people in the chat will attest that it's a good time over on Discord, and it's not just to get challenge feedback, it really is a whole community. So you'll notice over here on the left, there are so many channels that you can just hang out in, literally 24/7, and talk with people. The beautiful thing about this community is that it is global, so there's always someone online to talk to. And if you come down here to this little chat section, you can chat about anything. You can chat about the live streams, draw this in your style, just general introductions if you'd like to say hey. You can also ask questions or like share your portfolio if you want some feedback. But we are going to jump into this challenge, click plus, upload it, and we'll say the final challenge has arrived. What kind of pattern will you make? Alrighty, let's go ahead and upload this onto Behance. So if you didn't know, but I'm assuming that you do know, Behance is an online portfolio website and community. That's where we host Adobe Live. So everyone with an Adobe ID has access to have a free portfolio site, just like Behance. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the project that already exists. If you don't have a project that already exists, just click this share your work icon and click project, and it will open up the project editor for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click this cog. Click edit. It will think for a moment. Oh, Bobby, I'm so happy to hear you say that Discord has been friendly and helpful. That's how it should be. Sean, this was a quick 2-week challenge. It was almost like it was 2 weeks pushed into one. Alrighty, we have my favorite challenge right here. 2 others, although this is the same one, just shown in its front form instead of its spread out form. We have my other favorite challenge with the mixer brushes from yesterday, and let's go ahead and add today's challenge into this photo grid. So you'll notice that these 2 images are next to each other. I did that by clicking photo grid, and that allows you to add multiple images in a row. So we will edit this, we will edit grid, I will add a photo. There we go. And it automatically resizes things so that they work well together. All right, let's click done. And it looks great. So let's update my project and let's check it out and take a little project tour. Chat, I'm curious, what was your favorite challenge that we did this week? We had our digital collage. This was our colorizing challenge where we used a neural filter to recolor or add color to an old photograph. We had our patterns today, our mixer brushes yesterday. As far as outcome goes, I think I like yesterday's challenge the most. Maybe it's just this like neon green against this navy sky that I'm really kind of into. But I don't know. Let me know which ones were your favorite. D says the cards feel like Christmas. That's the goal. Or just wintertime in general if you're not into Christmas, but I'm pretty happy with it. So let's preview this project. The beautiful thing about these projects too is that you can add video, you can add text. So if you want to write a little bit of an intro to give people context about your process, you could add a video of your actual process. Maybe you do a screen cap and record it and upload it here. Boom. Yes, Ted, great call. The Discord chat will be open throughout the next 2 weeks. Even when Adobe Live is not live, the Discord will always be poppin'. For sure. No, Sean, the internet is not taking a holiday. Steve says the mixer brushes in the Northern Lights were cool. Super cool. Alrighty, so we have a couple minutes left, and I just wanted to scroll through some of your challenges, and maybe we could make a quick, what are they called? Snowflake pattern that I showed you. Let's go ahead and do that first, and then we can scroll through a couple of your challenges. So I'm gonna go back to this square file that I made. We're gonna turn off this pattern preview. And we are going to add the snowflake pattern, or the snowflake image from this file. Let me grab it. I'm just gonna pull it over to my other file really easily by holding Option. It's gonna make a duplicate, drag it up. There we go. Scale it down because it is way too big. Let's go ahead and zoom back in, and it is difficult to see because it's white on a checkerboard background, so let's fill this with black just so we can see it a little bit better. Why is that there? That's funny. Anyways, I don't know why this season's greetings is in here. Did I put it on the same layer? That's really strange. Alrighty, so let's put some of these snowflakes on their own layers. The way that I like to do that easily is I'll just use my marquee tool. So that's just this rectangle, draw a marquee around it. I'm gonna copy it. So go to Command C or Control C if you're on a PC, and I'm gonna paste it. And when you paste something in Photoshop, it automatically pastes as a new layer. So now we have a snowflake on its own layer. Let's do another one really quick. We'll choose this one. Copy, paste, and let's just make a pattern out of these two. We will make a new pattern. Snowflake. Let's bring it over here. And let's fill our pattern with snowflake instead of starry night. It looks like snowflakes falling from the sky. So nice. And we can could even edit this and add a couple more little secondary graphics like little dots or moons or stars. Very cool. Oh, Stody, you were struggling to get your pattern printed, but you realized it was the site. Good. I'm glad it wasn't Photoshop's fault. All right, chat, let's look through a couple of your submissions really quick just to make this a holly jolly Christmas and spread the love a little bit before we log off for the week. Although we're not totally logging off. There's going to be more Adobe Live right after me. I think Paul is up after me for a Photoshop masterclass, which, I mean, if you're into this, you're definitely going to be into that. I noticed that a lot of you were doing photo composites for yesterday's stream. So instead of using a mixer brush, you actually combined an image of the Aurora Borealis with a background sky, which I thought was really clever and cool. I really like this one by Tatiana. I think we already talked about that. Scrolling up, Andre is great at giving the feedback and responding. Thank you so much, Anki. You're always up in here. That's amazing. Very cool. I love the subtle color palette you use. You didn't try to go too neon like I did yesterday. This feels a little bit more realistic, right? Nicholas, I know. Aren't they awesome? And these are people who just watched the challenge yesterday and already turned this around. Here's a good example of doing a photo composite by Jay. So taking this photo, combining it with this one, thank you for the context here, to make this. Love it. So proud of you. It has been such a joy and a pleasure to be with you for the last week every single day. I feel like we became a little bit closer, a little cozy during the holiday season. So thank you so much for being here. If you want to keep posting over the next 2 weeks of your challenges, once you've gotten some feedback and updated them, please post them on Discord. We'd love to see them. And if you want to find me on the internet while I'm not hosting a DCC, I'm at Kathleen Illustrated pretty much everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, I don't know, maybe. But stick around because we have a whole day of Adobe Live coming up right after me, and I will see you very soon. Have a safe and happy holiday, everybody. Bye!